Thank you. On behalf of AAPG, SCPM, and the Utah Geological Association, I'd like to thank you for traveling to Salt Lake City. And I would like to thank the engineer in the back who showed me how to tie my tie. This meeting really takes an army of people to prepare. We spent many months, hundreds and hundreds of people participated in putting this program together. In particular, I'd like to mention our Vice General Chair, Paul Anderson, and our Technical Program Chair, Lauren Bergenheyer, but also the rest of the organizing committee, the Technical Program Committee, and everybody else who was involved. And if I may, could I have the members of the organizing committee, if you're in the room, could you stand and maybe we could applaud them and thank them.
Can you remember an AAPG experience that positively impacted your life? I'm serious, really, take a minute. I'd like to ask everyone to just take a moment and think about a great AAPG moment. Maybe it was a person. Maybe a conversation you had. Possibly a field trip. How about a book? I know in talking to Paul Basinski, a pioneer of the Eagle Ford shale play, he told me that the John Masters memoir on Elmworth Field made him realize that anything was possible. And he realized that when he was trying to do something that a lot of people thought was impossible, that it gave him courage. Perhaps you heard a talk or a poster that really made a difference, or a paper. Eddie David and I were talking, and he told me that he was wrestling with a difficult oil-water situation in one of his fields. He read a paper by Bob Berg about hydrodynamics, and all of a sudden, a light bulb went on. Talking about great events, last year at the AAPG Annual Convention in Houston, an actor who portrayed Wallace Pratt told us that anything is possible, everything is possible. He read from Wallace Pratt's work, and in that room, in that time, we felt it, we believed it. How many of you were there at that luncheon, the Heritage Luncheon last year? I see quite a few hands. The room was packed, and there was an incredible feeling that day. Now for me, the greatest AAPG event of many that changed my life, and I'm not kidding you, it really did change my life, happened, I can tell you the date, April 21st, 1997, in Dallas, at an AAPG convention, very much like this one. And you know what? When I went to this program, I had no idea, yes, hi Bernard, I had no idea that my life was going to change. I didn't. You don't know it when it's going to happen, it just happens. And my hope for all of you is that something's going to happen great for you at this incredible convention. What amazed me about this program is that these great explorers had unbelievable challenges. Nothing came easy. They went places where others feared to tread. They went into difficult environments. They went places where business contracts were almost impossible to make happen. They went back, some of them even went back to an old field that everyone thought was done, and they made a major discovery. They believed that anything was possible and everything was possible. And all right, YPs, listen up. These experienced people did all these great things when they were young professionals. And guess what? I was a young professional when I heard them tell me about these things. And boy, did I want to be like them. became president of my local geological society, the HGS, I wanted to create a program to keep the spark going from that magical moment. In the first panel, we had George Mitchell speak to us. And he told us about his struggles to make the Barnett Shale work. Everyone thought it was an overnight success, but the story is it was an overnight success 20 years in the making. And a lot of people thought that George was nuts, trying to make a shale produce oil and gas. Talk about somebody who thinks anything is possible, everything is possible. My goodness. And just to show with photographic proof that I actually was a young geoscientist once, if you look at the photo on the right, there I am standing next to Michelle T. Halberty and Robbie Grease. Now let me tell you about Robbie. Talk about pioneers. Robbie was our first AAPG woman president. Now, Robbie loves geology, she loves geoscience, she loves finding energy, she loves connecting with people. She's not going to take no for an answer, you know that. And Robbie, anything is possible, so look what you did. First woman AAPG president, and then you became an ambassador to the world, and you've paved the way for so many young men and women to enter the industry. Robbie, thank you. So the story continues. In my quest to be a good explorer, I wanted to learn from people who knew how to do it. I wanted to hear about recent discoveries, things that were happening by those who made it happen. And I looked around for a program that I could participate in, but it didn't exist. So what do when you want to attend a program that doesn't exist? You call up your friends and you say, let's make it happen. So that's what I did. And it turns out that a lot of other people were interested in these kind of discovery talks, and before long I had to go get some more friends. And so I did. And so Ted Beaumont, Ed Dolly, Paul Weimer, and many others over the years have contributed to keeping this thing going. And we made a promise that we were going to get talks by 100 outstanding men and women explorers. Promise made, promise kept. Over the 10 years that we've been doing this, we've had 115 amazing men and women tell us about discoveries and how they did it. Not just, okay, here's the field, but these were the obstacles we had to overcome. And tomorrow is the 20th forum. So how many here, I'm just curious, how many here have attended a Discovery Thinking Forum? I'm hoping to see at least a few hands, because I know out of all of the forums that we've done, we've often seen packed audiences. So good, I see a large number of people. Well, guess what? If you didn't raise your hand, we got a Discovery Thinking Forum tomorrow afternoon, so come see us. We've got Awakening Sleeping Giants. And I think that the critical question for Discovery Thinking is where are the future discoveries going to come, and who are going to be the discovery thinkers? And I suggest that they're coming from the YPs and the younger people in the audience that are like these incredible people. Now, when I was president of DPA, I wanted to create a full one-day immersive program focused on plays that are happening right now. Not look-backs, plays that are happening right now. So, these programs are 12 to 16 talks, and we have had them, at least one in every one of AAPG sections, and several of the regions. And one of the most popular ones, believe it or not, happens to be in Midland, Texas, and Mike Party, you can see him over there at the podium, because we had two outstanding playmakers. Mike chaired these, and he's our co-chair with Dave Ensminger, and Mike is our president-elect. The fellows in the center were when we did the Bakersfield Playmaker. Look at those incredible young professionals that put that program on, and by the way, we're standing in front of a mural of the Monterey Formation. How cool is that? And that lovely person on the right, is my partner in this journey, and she has done an amazing thing. She has made many, many videos of these programs, and they're on AAPG's website, waiting for you. So to take a moment, I want to show you how these programs connect. So they all start with that legendary tale back at the Dallas Convention. And this magic moment, I didn't know was coming. It changed my life. I truly hope that at this conference, you will have many magic moments. And I'm kind of hoping maybe this is a talk that may resonate with someone. And as I explained the connections, that event led to the Legends programs with George Mitchell and others. That led to Discovery Thinking programs here at ACE conferences. That led to Discovery Thinking programs at our international conferences, and that led to Playmaker forums, and there's one more, that led to the global super bases. And if you've been reading any of my columns in The Explorer, you can tell I'm excited about this conference. This, I believe, is a future tradition, and we're going to have a session also tomorrow. I'm going to be a busy guy. You're going to see in your bulletin, Barry Katz is our bulletin editor. We're going to be bringing the biggest and the best basins around the globe. You're going to start seeing them in your Explorer, and we're going to continue to do conferences around the globe. And I want to say, the early programs were look-back programs. The Discovery Thinking programs are contemporary discoveries. The Playmaker forums are what's happening right now. And get this, I truly think the super basins are not only what's happening now, I think they're anticipatory. In other words, I think the work to be done for many decades to come is to study the basins and to figure out where the new plays are going to be and which basins need to be turned on. And the thread through all of this is that geoscience matters. In the opportunities I've had to use the media and to talk directly to CEOs like Scott Sheffield of Pioneer on the right, I tell them this: the foundation of any energy company is geoscience. That's where the value is. The foundation of any energy company are geoscientists. Okay, let's have some fun with this. Everything is possible. Have a good conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome AAPG Vice President Sections, Dave Schwartz.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Charles. One request, please. There's a lot of folks standing in the back, and we were hoping that some of the folks sitting in the front and the middle could bunch a little bit and get some room for some of the folks standing in the back. All right? Thank you. So when many of us think about AAPG, we think about science, technology, and high professional standards. As Charles clearly demonstrated, the true foundation of AAPG is its people. That's why the opportunity we have each year to honor our awardees is, for many of us, the best part of the annual convention. Before we begin, we have a brief message. I hope.
Some of our awardees are unable to be with us today in Salt Lake City. Our final technical award, the Wallace E. Pratt Memorial Award.
Let's congratulate Steve Rockman. Please join me in congratulating Cynthia Huggins.
SIG in recognition of continuous outstanding service.
Backstage, I didn't know about that at all, by the way. Our true friend, Rocky Roden, was trying to get here. He's Las Vegas with the weather. You know, for Henry, you know. First of all, my background is mostly, you know, geophysics. I started on a seismic crew. But in '59, when Charles talked about, you know, changes in our life and career, and I see the pictures over here. But anyway, in '59, you know, I was then moved offshore, and I found myself surrounded by seismic data, like thousands of miles. You know, Shell had their own seismic boats, and I learned how to map, you know, salt domes. And learn about geology and how geophysics and geology are tied together. And by the way, I still think very strongly about that today. And so then I went back to a job on a seismic crew, and then back, you know, went back offshore. And in '67, that's another big time in my life, you know, big event. When I was mapping an area east of the river, that Shell like this Pacific River, like this prospect. And I made a map. We had to make all these map levels. I made a shallow map of 3,000 feet. You know, had this amplitude around me with structure. People said, well, it's probably something hard, tight. And we drilled the well a few months later, and we're going after down deep. Didn't work. But the shallow was shallow gas at about 3,000 feet, you know. And the sonic log had a nice kick on it, notch on it. This is 1968, nobody wanted shallow gas. Shell was not interested. In fact, they even dropped the acreage. Then I was in another role, you know, trying to map structures in deeper water, like 200 to 400 feet of water. There really were very few wells out there at the time, virtually none. And you know, so I used to see all you know, I saw all these good amplitudes. And so the word, you know, bright spot got coined in the office. I did not come up with that term. It was just coined in coffee breaks and conversation. And it was kind of almost a joke. Everybody was skeptical because at the time, seismic was used in that structure. So this went on for several months. So then in the spring of '69, I put together a whole bunch of old fields that I knew, and I tied the wells to the seismic and to the maps and to the oil fields. Calibration, you know, that's a key word we all use today. Observations and calibration, those are key to what we do. Management accepted it, technology guys in Shell turned around, and it worked. So between 1970 and '75, when I was there, we found a lot of oil fields, several of them, 100 million, 300 million barrel fields. So this award really, it was my idea. And by the way, I was not the first to recognize that these, you know, that these amplitudes could indicate gas and oil. There were others, you know, prior to me and maybe after me, but Shell ran with it. I think that was the whole key. The Shell management ran with it, and we had the good quality technical staff who could make sense out of amplitudes and pay thicknesses. So really, this Sidney Powers Award should go to all the Shell people who I worked with back in the '67 to '75, who really made this, you know, made this work, technology work. And then that's kind of fast, you know, forward a few years, and I went into deep water. I was managing deep water there. Bright spots was a key in the deep water because a lot of the opportunities are structural stratigraphic. We found a lot of nice fields, also drilled a lot of dry holes, wet sand, you know, low saturation gas, etc. Let's move forward again. You know, Pete Rose, maybe he's here today, I don't know, I haven't seen him, called me in 2001 and said, hey, we want to form a group of companies, you know, DHI Consortium. We're still doing it 18 years later. We got 32 companies this year. So it's fun. You know, so this all started in 1959, even though I was on the side crew twice, but 59 changed my life. And then 1967 changed my life because it's fun. And one of my daughters is here, Kelly, and we used to joke, they used to ask her, what does your dad do? He colors, he brings yellow pencils at home and seismic lines. He's a colorer. Remember that, Kelly? So, anyway, so I tell all Kelly's kids and my other grandchildren, whatever you want to do in life, make it fun. Make it something that you want to do. And I still do it. You know, 84, I'm still doing it. So, thank you very much. Thank you, not only the Shell people, but the Maxis people and all the DHI Consortium and all the people I've met over the last 17 years. Thank you very much.